All right, folks, welcome to the KYCA PM show. It is time, once again, it's that time of month, for the panel of all knowledge. Yes, it's the Mulligan Group. So gather the kids, the dog, grandma, and lock them in the basement. And then sit back and relax for the next hour. Be sure to get your score sheets out. Our lines are open, but, mostly it's just us blathering today. So let us blather. First, I have an announcement. This is fun because this became a real thing about 5 hours ago, and I'm very proud of it. If you partake of our brand new station, Classic Rock 93.5 FM, and it starts to fade out on you, maybe out in Prescott Valley, or you can't quite hear it past Dewey, and you get mad because you really like Prescott's Classic Rock. Well, guess what, folks? There's the app right there. If you're looking on screen, there it is. The app went live today. So you go to our brand new website, classicrock935.com, and just click on the little Apple or click on the little Android, and you can download your brand new app for Prescott's Classic Rock. And guess what else today? This was fun too.
How do you play it on Alexa?
On Alexa?
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Okay.
That's one thing. Malcolm?
10 off.
20.
20 off.
20 points.
Don't you tell me what to do. And 10 off for you on Bob. Minus 10 for you. Goodness, you all are in trouble
Don't say a
already.
word, Phil.
Okay, so anyway.
I'm being good. What?
No, you're not. 10 off.
Oh.
There you go.
He listens to Classic Country.
Yeah, he does. Okay.
Charlie Pride, boy.
Well, that gets you 5 points back. Okay. So anyway, down to minus 5 for Phil, minus 10 for Bob, minus 20 for Malcolm. I win.
How about Leanne Rhymes?
No. All right.
Oh.
93.5 FM, Prescott, classicrock935.com. You can download the app right now. You can find it in your store. It's tough to find. There's a lot of classic rock apps out there. Go to the one. And by the way, the big thing today also is Nate Michaels, our new afternoon DJ, did his first few tests, and he sounded great. And he's going to be on the air 2 to 7 once we get him up to speed. And that's going to be a real local radio station as well. You're going to be hearing news and weather and all sorts of stuff on 93.5 as well.
Perfect.
So it's great. It's fantastic. 93.5 FM, Prescott's Classic Rock. And guess what? KNOT, the Team 1450, which should be in the middle of an NBA game. Scotty, you might want to check that out. Should have an NBA game just getting started. Thank you. And we're going to... 40. Minus 20. Okay. Thank you, Malcolm. KNOT is going to be getting an app as well in the next few days or weeks, and we will have KNOT, the Team 1450, and all the sports on our app as well. So no more AM radio, no more FM radio. It's all digital these days, baby. Okay. Back to radio and back to the important stuff. Around the table we go. It's to the Bob Show. Bob Roecker. How you doing today, Bob?
I'm doing good.
Not bad for being in third place and minus 10 already.
Yeah, no.
So what's up?
About that.
What's up next week?
I've got two people coming into the Bob Show. I've got a guy named Tim Ottaway, who is the owner of Cooper's, which is the bar inside the La Quinta Hotel out on Highway 69.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm also having come in a guy named Matt Healy, who is the regional vice president of Hensley Beverage Company, which is the Budweiser distributor for all of northern Arizona. And we're going to talk about those kinds of business and beer and what went wrong with that crazy thing with Bud Light and all that
beverage,
kind of stuff. So it's going to be fun.
The beverage industry as it pertains to Prescott, correct?
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
Good enough.
It's going to be fun.
All right. We're looking forward to that.
Who knows?
Across the table in last place
Cindy
as usual.
Hensley.
Yeah,
I'm going to be jumping up real quick here.
Well, you're not anywhere
I
near the
know,
microphone,
Cindy
so I don't care. So
Okay, I'm jumping up real quick.
there you go. Okay. Again, Malcolm Barrett Jr. You got anybody coming in Thursday?
I do.
What do you got?
I have the better half of the duo Eye on Prescott team,
Okay.
Tony Hamer,
Okay.
and he will be talking about a brand new survey they have posted online, eyeonprescott.com, prescottlive.com, either one. Click the survey on the right, and what are your priorities for the city of Prescott? Rank choice.
Very
You
interesting.
can slide them up, slide them down, rank 1 to 5, provide extra comments. The city did a priority survey recently, and they got out of the entire city 750 responses and came up with a real goofy majority response.
I'm sure
So
they did.
This survey's coming out,
Say again how you
and
get
it's online now.
All right. Say the websites again, Malcolm.
It is prescottlive.com or ionprescott.com, or there's a link on kyca.info.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
know
sure-
Not to the survey, but to the show.
To the show, correct.
So go to the show. On the right, you see a distinguished-looking elderly couple on what are your Prescott's for priorities for Prescott. Click the link. It's a very short survey. Ranked choice voting.
Right. Make your voice known. In this case, ranked choice is fine. So
Yes,
that's good.
and
Well,
that's
those-
what Tony will be discussing.
Those
with me.
700 people had to have been turned out by the machines.
More than
It
likely.
was auto pen. I don't know.
By auto pen. I see.
Auto
Malcolm, I take that just as well as any other
No,
explanation, to be
that's,
honest.
that story keeps hanging out there.
It
That-
does,
it's
doesn't
gonna it's gonna be an issue.
We'll
it
see.
isn't.
Open space is more important than fire and police and infrastructure.
Yes.
Roads, water, sewer.
Yes.
We don't need water. We don't need police protection. As long as we have our open space, that's our priority.
That's yes.
That's
And
great.
well, we're going to be getting into that in just a few minutes because the
Right.
council just got going in terms of 3 ballot initiatives. We're going to discuss that later today as well. Yes, I can hear the cringing around the table. And folks, if you're watching this is painful to watch. Okay, and across the counter from us, of course, is the dean of the morning coffee group. That would be Phil King.
Thank
Our
you to
Mon-
have me here once again, Your Highness.
Yes.
That's our pre-Google research resource.
That's right.
www machine.
Okay, folks, in case you haven't figured this out, the panel of all knowledge is sarcastic only. I just wish to put it out there right now just so nobody thinks that this is all that serious.
I
but-
forgot to take my sarcasm pill. I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
then we'll try and be honest today. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay, 928-541-1016. Don't jump in. I wouldn't if I were you. And since we were discussing that, let's start off right off the bat because we are talking about, shall we start with the most important issue of the day?
Absolutely.
Malcolm brought it in.
That's the Senate bill proposed to make chemtrails illegal over the state of Arizona.
At 40,000 feet, when there is no such thing in the first
at
place.
I thought of the ludicrousness of that because anybody with any technical or scientific basis knows what contrails are. And they know that it's impossible to spread that much chemical. It exceeds the carrying capacity of aircraft. However, if they're making chemtrails illegal, that's great because the proof is in the pudding.
Right.
You sold those. Okay, prove it. Let's see the evidence.
Yeah.
And now, folks, the
It's-
point is, the reason we're talking about this is an actual Senate bill down in the
It
state.
really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who introduced this?
It was
I'm sorry, Malcolm. I've got you in vapor lock here. I'm
yeah,
sorry about
it is
that.
vapor lock because I'm still laughing from my first reading of
Yeah.
the bill, which I did. It's the typical conspiracy theorist senators down there. and
As
if there's
though
a-
the state legislature has control over the
over the atmosphere
airways.
and the atmosphere, by the way,
but-
because that's what creates it. However,
Yeah.
there's also a parallel bill going through the House as well, and it's the usual players sponsoring these things. Remember Kelly Chemtrail?
Yes, I
Kelly
do.
Ward?
All right,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
today the
Yeah.
New York Times said that science has now proven that plastic bags are better than paper bags.
Yes, they have a lower carbon
But where do we
footprint.
get the oil?
Well, the problem is the disposal of plastic bags.
Was
Right.
And
apparently
it's
not
not
a
for-
bigger problem as the paper
And
No,
bags.
it's
you
not
can-
the U.S., folks.
You can turn them back into oil.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
You could.
They came from oil.
Well, chemtrails.
But that would mean
I mean,
that would require more wells in the shale fields.
That's true. Drill, baby, drill.
oh goodness. Hey, so what? So down at the state on this chemtrail thing,
Yes.
what? They didn't have time to talk about open space or something?
It just befuddles me. It just absolutely
yeah.
astonishes me. But I like it, though, because looking into it further, okay, if you see a chemtrail versus a contrail, prove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I have a question. Now this is the important question where this is concerned. There is legislation like crazy introduced all year long.
Yes.
All the time.
Crazy legislation.
1,100, 1,200 bills every session.
Has this bill made it out of any committee yet?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, the
Okay.
Senate.
I give up. 100
No,
points
think
off
about
for Arizona.
The hearing committee.
Think about this. how much extra fuel is a jet going to have to use if they can't fly over the state of Arizona?
But the number one load factor in any commercial airliner or military jet is the fuel. The fuel is 2/3 of the gross weight of the airplane, more than the passengers, more than the baggage, more than the weight of the airplane.
Okay.
And in order to make a contrail or a chemtrail, as long as the contrails we're seeing exceeds the load carrying capacity of the airplane. So they couldn't carry passengers and they couldn't carry fuel just so they can spread chemicals.
And the problem is they're complaining about it because they're using it to defeat climate change.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. It's blocking the sun so it can cool the earth.
But wouldn't that be a good thing?
I suppose so.
Wouldn't the same people say addressing climate change?
But it's all the heavy metals
is
that are
important.
poisoning the people in Arizona.
But it's just water vapor. Okay.
Hand me that. This sign just came up. You see that? Yes. We all need a break right now. I would not be so much against the sponsors of the bill as the committee chair who actually let this thing out.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
wasting their time.
Yes.
On
Somebody
something so
got
frivolous.
into the ear of their local legislator and got it dropped in the hopper.
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. So we're taking our first break. If you're watching us, yes, this is what it looks like. They waved this at me, and believe me, right now, I am happy to comply. Here, take that.
You didn't hold the please sign under the break.
That's right. Please. Thank you. And that is 100 points off for the Arizona legislature as a whole. So 928-541-1016. Take a break and be back after this. And we're back here on the KYCA PM show. Don't turn their microphones up. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Turn their microphones up. We're back on the panel of all knowledge, the Mulligan Group here on KYCA. Malcolm Barrett Jr., Phil King, and Bob Roecker. And the scorecard, if you're keeping score at home, by the way, folks. And yes, we will have scorebooks out in the spring collection of the scorebooks out at your local discount hardware stores very soon. So far, if you're keeping score at home, Phil is in the lead at -5. just for his poor choice of words at the moment. You should have listened to Bob, who is down by 10, Malcolm minus 40, and the Arizona legislature minus 100.
I should have got extra credit for promoting one of your shows.
I think so. Okay, I'll give you 10 there. So that's minus 30.
Right.
Still
dead last.
Bringing up. No. The Arizona legislature
Arizona
lost
legislature.
today.
By far.
They lose today. However, if there is another body that might lose, let's talk Prescott City Council. They are in the middle of a council meeting right now, and the size go up around the table. They're talking about the 3 ballot initiatives. They're trying to get those passed today so that it will be on the August ballot.
So they don't have to make a decision.
Right.
Well,
They are unwilling or unable to make a decision, so let's let the voters decide everything.
they're pandering to a special interest group that's pushing 2 of the 3. Home rule has to pass. It's a necessity. The other 2 shouldn't even be on the
But you know
ballot.
what? I have
what
an
are the
idea
other
for
2?
this city council. Why don't you put a public initiative that the public needs to vote on any city expenditure over $10,000? That means everything will go to a vote of the public.
Why not?
Is that practical?
What, the Indian tribe
course
does that.
Yeah, well,
They vote on everything.
New England town halls, but you're hostage to the special interest group that shows up.
That's true.
I want to pass a special tax that will award every long-term resident of Prescott $500 a year for their longevity, and it will increase by $20 every year.
But what's the cutoff point? When you got here or when I got here?
No, when I got here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
of course.
nobody before that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm good.
Like Butch
Yeah, right. Butch.
or Perry, who's been here since 53.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, forget home rule. We know that has to be done.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
The
What are the
first,
other 2?
the first initiative is the Open Space Initiative,
Yeah.
which came out by they say it's a public what do you call it, a petition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who signed the petition?
The bananas.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many people? What I want to know is how many people signed the petition.
Oh, how many?
It's a percentage of who
Well,
voted in the last city council election.
But no, they didn't even get to the point of really collecting signatures because they came to the city.
and the
The
council
people
may.
individually came, and they came to council and said, we're going to do this petition, and we would like this on the ballot. And the city council said, well, don't worry about doing it through the petition process.
We'll
We'll
do
look at it and put it on there for you.
As a council initiative.
The council may put an initiative on the ballot.
That's right.
And they are deciding that right now.
Yeah.
Gutless.
Don't
And
you
it
find
is-
it
Absolutely
odd
gutless.
that these same people trust them to buy the open space, but don't trust them to manage it?
Well, they don't want it managed. They want it left feral. But it would
That
also
can't happen.
It's the same names that were on the lawsuit over the rodeo, and it will
Ralph
lock
S.
down.
Howard Mechanic.
It will prevent improvements to the rodeo grounds, improvements to the parks, because it locks it up as is of that date, and no improvements
what
or
that real-
changes can be made.
So what that really means is as safety issues come up over at the rodeo grounds, they can't be dealt with.
They can't be dealt
they
with.
can be. They could be with a vote of the people, which
Every
means
time.
you've
If you
got
need
to
to-
put it on a
On-
ballot,
yeah.
and it takes time.
Yeah,
If you
and
want to
each-
put a
they-
public trail across open space, put it up for the vote of people.
That's right.
If you
because
need
it
an easement
it'll
to
write
provide
it into
city
the
services
charter.
to another area, put it to the vote of the people.
Yes.
It'll-
So the
They
council,
are absolving their responsibility to make
That's what I was
decisions
gonna
in
say.
the best
Yeah.
interests of this city.
Yeah.
And
Well,
what gets me is that they have
Why
spent. They have spent a few. Don't interrupt me. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Negative,
Bob.
negative points. Negative
No.
points.
I give him 5 points because I yelled at him. Anyway, I'm sorry, Bob. So anyway, no.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. But anyway, I hear this council for the last few years complaining about the actions of past councils.
Yeah.
And now they're absolving themselves because they have given it to somebody else. You can't complain about them because they didn't do anything.
yeah.
That's right. Not my fault.
I
It's
don't
not my
know.
fault.
How do you elect leaders that do that? What
It's-
is?
Because there's one born every minute,
Well, I guess so.
and
Yeah.
we elect them
Yep.
Golly.
based on a false issue and false paradigms concerning what that is.
And then we have the general plan coming up, which is why Mr. Reilly is not at the end of the table today. He's
Go
representing
get
the
him.
planning
Sick
and
him, Tom.
planning and zoning. He's
Yeah.
going to be there. I'm sure he's going to be speaking to this
All
in
the,
the open council.
Yeah, all the woke DEI language that they want to write into the city
Well-
charter through this process, it's the same as putting
But see,
the
they're
open
taking-
space lockdown in the city charter. It doesn't belong
The
there.
problem we have is the general plan is really misnamed.
Well, yeah.
It should be the land use plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
If it was titled properly, as it was intended as a land use planning document, you wouldn't have all these snowflakes showing up. Well, it's our general plan, so we need to put everything in there.
Yeah.
No, it's a land use planning document.
It's another.
That's
it's
what I'm going to
another
lobby the
ploy.
legislature for. Change the name from general plan to land use plan.
We can change the name.
There you go.
It's another ploy by this social justice groups to push their agenda through City Hall, and these city councilmen don't have
They bend, they
the
blow with the
backbone.
wind.
They don't have the backbone to stand up to them.
They don't have the courage to make the right decision over the popular.
Oh, it's not even a popular decision. It's just the squeaky wheel decision.
You know, there are 30 or 40 people that have nothing better to do that go to a council meeting at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And it's
that's
the
why
same
I
ones.
vote for people, because I have confidence in their ability to make an informed decision. If I identify a candidate who's just going to blow with the wind, I'll never vote for them.
Yeah.
I'll vote for
Absolutely.
nobody before I vote for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, what is the solution here? It's going to go before a vote, and obviously there's going to have to be a campaign.
Well,
I mean, I
are
think
there
that's the
enough?
only-
Are there enough council members sitting there today to refuse to put those things on the ballot?
Well, we can only find out in just a little bit, and I have a feeling
I don't think there
no,
is.
I don't think there is
I
either.
think it's
It's a
a lot.
campaign year.
It's a lot easier to pass the buck.
And this is
Boy,
one of-
that's true.
Kick
I
the
have to say,
can.
this is the ultimate passing of the buck that I've ever seen on this council.
Oh yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Don't ask me to make a decision. Let's put it to a ballot issue.
I actually
Well,
got.
it's the fair thing to do, you know. Let the public decide.
And
I
the
What's
got an
wrong with
I
you,
got
Malcolm?
an email. I got an email just a couple of days ago from an old friend, and he was very concerned about growth, and he wanted to know why we don't have a stop growth committee at City Hall.
We already do.
It's called the City Council.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I told him. And they've been in charge for 6 years, and look where it got us, a tax increase.
We are
Upside down on the budgets.
All you got to do is look at the state of California to see where we're going.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
it's going to
that's
be
scary.
and it's going to be hard to turn around.
It's like we were talking about before. They want this place to be Telluride. Only the right caliber of people.
But yet, out of the other side of their mouths, they're talking affordable housing
Housing.
initiative.
And every
And to pencil
Yeah.
whip the dialogue, they hired an affordable housing director.
yeah,
But every action they make makes
Houses
housing
more-
less affordable.
that's right. More expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to take a break here. We're coming up at the end of the hour, at the end of the half hour. Excuse me, folks. I didn't mean to get your hopes up there. We do have another half hour of the
you
show.
would have got my hopes up.
There we go. Okay, 928-541. Oh, to heck with it. We've got a break coming up here. Stick around, folks, or not. No, I ask you to stick around, really.
Please do.
And welcome back to the panel. As you hear from the music, it is just the Four Stooges today. I'm Curly. Okay. Phil King.
I just thought you were the moderator.
I am. Phil King, Malcolm Barrett Jr., Bob Roecker. I just can't help but jump into the middle of this. Some headlines from around the world in courtesy of the Babylon Bee, that fount of all knowledge that we love to rely on. Elon Musk has disguised the headquarters of the IRS as a Tesla dealership, and the leftists have burned it down.
Oh, Saturday is the big
Fact,
day.
That's news. It's on the internet.
That's what I've heard. Yes.
Saturday is the big day, the global day of action.
Really?
Yes, and all the organized go burn down your Teslas and things are supposed to go do it on Saturday.
We can proudly say
But
that our
that's
senator's
not
already done
inciting
that.
violence. That's not inciting violence.
Oh, no, not at all.
Only Republican speech incites violence.
Yeah.
Right.
Left-wing speech, that we can't
I wonder
control
what
that.
would happen. Maybe the Tesla owners would be wise to put, Harris bumper stickers on their cars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I don't know what the
Harris
dealers-
Waltz, right on the bumper.
Yeah, would that help?
The man, the
We're just saying.
manly Tim Waltz.
This
Yes.
is not a Tesla.
And also,
Oh, well, okay, let it go.
and finally, also from the Babylon Bee today, after years of debate, theologians now agree that lying to your dentist about flossing is not a sin. Okay, so
Only your dentist knows for sure.
and also from the Babylon Bee, Democrats estimate they are only one more arson away from being popular again. So we'll see how that works this coming weekend.
Watch out on Saturday.
That's right. And folks, yes, be careful out there.
You
Let's
know what
keep
the difference is? Remember with the whole Bud Light controversy, and they alienated their main market,
Right.
and they were burning, destroying cases and cases of Bud Light. You know what the difference was? It was their own Bud Light that they were destroying.
Oh, yeah.
They were not destroying anybody else's.
They paid for it. They
Yeah.
paid for it.
Yeah.
It was their
Yes.
property. They burned it in protest. They didn't run out and burn everybody else.
Want to talk about Jasmine Crockett's
Why not?
ironically named Jasmine Crockett's
shall we?
latest faux pas?
Here's the thing. This is what really gets me. She is from Texas.
Yes.
That scares
And
me.
named Crockett.
I will be
Kinda
honest.
sad, isn't it?
I will be honest that I was in Austin a few years ago. Beautiful city, absolutely gorgeous.
It was.
At night, music is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, and it is, as they say, stay weird. That's their
Keep
motto.
Keep
Austin
Austin
weird.
weird.
Keep Austin weird.
That's where I went to school.
Yeah.
Hook 'em, baby.
Well-
Eeyore's birthday party at Zilker Park.
That's
Minus 50
anyway,
for
Crockett,
Malcolm.
Crockett refused to Governor Abbott as Governor Hot Wheels.
Yeah, I heard that. Apparently,
She claims that isn't what she meant.
oh, of course not.
What, to beat Ted Cruz severely about the head?
Oh, that's a
Beat
different
him
one.
senseless?
Oh, that's a different one.
She
yeah.
didn't mean that.
Oh, of
either.
course not.
No, of course not.
Even though she said
and
it.
Governor Hot Wheels?
Yeah. She says she was referring to him deporting aliens, not his wheelchair that he's been in since he was 26 years of age.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a guy I would follow.
Do you think that?
Well, yes.
Do you
Who was
think
Michael
that Musk?
Berry's hero, the female character with the just ridiculous
Shirley
name?
Q. Liquor.
Shirley Q. Liquor. She doesn't get any better than that.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that Musk is going to sue Bowman for his comments about calling him a Nazi?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He says he is. He's certainly got the money to make it stick.
No, he'll just send him to the gas chambers.
Well, yeah.
No.
Well, he.
How
this
many?
Bowman-
How many is that? That
Yeah, that's bad.
You're closing in on the legislature really
Bowman's not a
fast.
legislator anymore, so he's subject to being. He can't just hide behind
Yeah.
the fact that he's right.
Well,
Yeah,
it's-
legislative immunity, like
Yeah.
our legislators in the state of Arizona do.
Yeah, I'm not speeding. Yeah, that whole thing.
It seems to me that as soon as Donald Trump got in, there's a few people who got a backbone. It's amazing, and I hope that keeps up past the end of his term. You know, and that brings up an interesting speed question before we go to the next break. President J.D. Vance, yes or no?
Absolutely.
double. Yeah.
Not that you would like him. I would like him too. Does he have a chance?
Yes.
You think he has a legitimate shot?
He is statesmanlike. He's diplomatic.
Well,
he's sharp as a tack.
Unless your name's Zelensky, you're not.
And
he's
he
not very
does not. He does not back down.
No, he doesn't.
Well, our current president's 78 years old. There's always that.
That is true. As vigorous as Donald Trump is, especially compared to the last person, you don't think that he's going to quit, but he's 78.
Yeah.
Things
Well,
can happen.
if
But
he
He's fine.
I thought
he's
he was
fine.
going to declare himself emperor and king for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten around to that. He's got
No.
other executive orders he's signing.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
But when you walk
couple
into
good
a
ones
sports
today.
event and everybody starts chanting
Cheering.
USA,
Yeah.
cheering, so he's doing something right.
But he could resign after the next election cycle at the end of his second year in office. So that would be January of 27. Were he to resign then, President Vance could still have 2 full terms following the 2 years of Trump's term.
That is correct.
And
But
here's
I think Trump's having way too much fun. to
Oh,
resign.
yeah.
Yeah, he would never do
obviously,
that.
he's acting like a 40-year-old. It's great.
it's great. And
What's the one thing all people that run for office have? The one thing.
Ego.
Everybody. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ego.
Look at him.
So he
Look at
can't-
here.
well,
Yeah, here we are.
And those of us who had our ego crushed after one term,
Well,
now
that would be me.
Yes, I know.
well, we were talking at about Trump's all of these weird-looking policies and the shotgun, what appears to be this shotgun approach to all these policies and
Right,
trial balloons
Looks like it.
that Trump's floating.
Right.
It's not. There's a nexus to all of them.
Everything he does.
From Panama to
Canada?
to Canada, which would be fantastic.
Iceland.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about
Alberta
Iceland.
alone, were Alberta the 51st state, it
Right.
would be the highest per capita income state in the union.
Oh wow.
All
Well,
by
and
itself.
Alberta's made some noises about thinking that would be okay with them.
Yeah, they got all the shale oil, but
Are they
but
gonna
the
learn to speak English?
the
Or they still
crypto-
learn French.
but crypto,
Well, they're not. Alberta's,
Panama, Canada, all of those things, they all have a common nexus when you start looking at them. What Trump is doing is restructuring the Bretton Woods Agreement, the World Trade Organization.
Right.
Bretton Woods, the U.S. voluntarily said, we will lend you the money to rebuild to Europe after the war.
Right.
We will lend you the money to rebuild, and we will buy anything and everything you export to us, no tariffs. That's been going on since 1944.
Right.
When they brought China into the WTO, look what happened to China, because it's backed up and financed by American capital and debt payment on the bonds that China owns that pays for China's military.
Correct.
This is what he's trying to change, and every one of these policies is directly related to Bretton Woods and restructuring the WTO.
It's going to be very interesting to see what can be
It's
accomplished.
fascinating, and it's such a
How
brilliant long-term strategy.
and that was my question. How long will that strategy take for it to actually occur?
It's
or become.
It's occurring, so
It's a slow.
it's a slow process, and
Yeah.
he's got 4 years.
Well,
So-
remember this, folks, with everything that has happened at
Wow.
a breakneck speed. And we're going to take a break, speaking of which.
Yeah.
He's been in office 65 days.
Yes,
Unbelievable.
Right.
it is.
It is
Makes
amazing.
FDR's 100 days look like a pittance.
That's true. All right, we're going to take a break. Scotty, sorry about that. We'll keep everybody quiet for a few minutes and be back right after this. And we're back here on the KYCA PM show. You know, nobody listens to me. Bob just keeps going and going, so that's another 20 for you. So, minus 25 for Bob, minus 70 for Malcolm, minus 5 for Phil, minus 100 for the state legislature. Nobody wants to be the state legislature, Malcolm. Come on. And you, Bob. So anyway, okay. Next question that we have here, I think we see the gas station, I guess you could call it, going in on the edge of town once again. And it just brings to mind the Walmart from 1988 when they started building the Walmart on the reservation. I have nothing against the reservation. If they can get some economic...
I don't deny them a nickel.
Absolutely.
Good for them.
Good for them.
However...
And that brings up the quick trip, which I keep hearing is going to happen.
Yes.
It should. It was approved. It was just the council, who had no business interfering, spent a whole day bad-mouthing it.
Right. Now, Prescott Valley has Aldi.
Yeah.
And
Great grocery store. You know, if the merger had been allowed, we would have had 2 Aldis in Prescott.
Yeah.
Really?
They would have rebranded the Safeway stores to Aldis.
And speaking of the city council, what happened to all that retail designation out there along 89A that was part of the master plan for the area that they rejected?
Conveniently.
How much do you guys know about that thing on the reservation? Because the flat part where you turn off to go up the hill has been there for a long time, and we all knew they were. But they're really knocking down that hill over there.
Well,
It's the
Is it
wrong
gonna
place
be
for it. I thought it was going to be at the intersection of the Outpay connector in 69. It's not.
No.
It's over closer to the other entrance.
Well,
Yeah,
they
it's-
have
it's-
where Harbor Freight is.
right. They already have a stoplight, a 4-way stoplight installed there.
Yes.
And I can see where that could be a very easy right or left for a big truck.
That's what it'll be.
And then they will go down along the
There's a
highway.
ravine, huge ravine there.
They're
gotta do
filling it
something
in.
with.
Yeah.
And
They're filling it in.
They're filling it in.
And of course,
Blasting.
the city is obligated to be their water company, regardless of what they
No
build.
burial ground if it's a casino, a Walmart, or a truck stop.
Well, I
And
don't.
it's number. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but I don't begrudge them a cent.
Oh no.
No,
For
it's
what they're
whatever
doing.
they can develop.
You know, literally feet within the city of Prescott.
Yeah.
And
Surrounded by the city of
Yeah.
Prescott.
It is surrounded.
so
Yeah.
so my question I would posit to the council: when are we getting a Buc-ee's?
And remember, none of the businesses on tribal land pay property tax.
That's right.
Or city sales tax?
Or city sales
They
tax.
do
Right,
pay
those.
state and county,
Correct.
but not city, and
No
no,
property
taxes,
tax, and
which
you
is
wonder
a
why the
huge
schools are short.
displacement.
And water is always an issue.
But we've agreed to
Of course.
supply them with all the water they need.
Well, federal law.
Well, I just have to congratulate them because they're putting in one heck of a business
Yeah.
over there again.
Well, it's going to be quite a complex. There's one
all
or
they
two,
have to
one
do
or two
is-
kind of anchors and the other things ancillary to that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It will put the resort on the map once again if
Oh,
it
well.
wasn't off the map
They're-
in the
what are
first
they?
place.
At least a third vacancy in Frontier Village.
Something
The
like that.
vacant storefronts.
But they have some interesting tenants that have been in there for some time now,
Yes.
and that continue to be so.
At
The total-
Home, Harbor Freight,
The Total
Total
Wine
Wines.
Store, yeah,
Total Wine's big.
yeah,
It
And
is.
of course, the smoke shop.
and Home Depot,
And Home Depot's
Depot.
very big.
Yeah.
very big. And now they have the
Target.
Chinese
Piper.
they have the Chinese buffet. They have several restaurants, and I hear that Golden Corral is coming back. They are working at rebuilding it.
Oh.
My goodness.
Yes, seriously.
They've been closed 2 years now.
At least that, but I have seen that they are working on it. There is active work going on, and I hear that they are going to reopen.
Is Zeke still back in the corner?
Yes,
Back
it
there?
is.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I have to say, I'll show you guys when we take our break. Shall we take the
Fujiyama,
last
don't
break?
forget Fujiyama.
All right,
yeah,
I want
forgot.
to show you guys something, and if we have time, I'll show it up on the screen too. So if you're watching, you prepare for something here. But in the meantime, 928-541-1016. We're going to wrap things up in just a few minutes, and thanks for your patience out there, folks. Folks? I think there's still people out
Silence.
there. Anyway,
Silence.
okay. We'll see you all on the other side of the break.
It's
Final segment tonight of the
The,
the Mulligan Group.
yes, the J.P. Mulligan Studio.
The panel of all knowledge. Too late, Scotty. I heard it. Okay. Yes, he's trying to recover with the McLaughlin Group. He had the other thing in there. So okay,
The other
thanks,
bumper-
Scotty. That was fine.
the
Don't
bumper
worry.
music?
No worries. 928-54. No, forget it. Nobody's going to call. I don't want anybody calling because we got to wrap this up. We're down to the
Somebody's
last couple
calling.
minutes.
So,
Oh, Mike, really? Seriously? Okay,
Tribal
let's everybody get your headphones
Yeah,
on.
good.
Mike wants to talk about the tribal water agreement.
okay.
Since we're on that subject, Mike, are you on the air?
Yeah, I heard you say you only had a moment or two, so I'm willing to keep this short, and you don't have to provide a long answer.
No. Keep these guys quiet. Go right on ahead. Go ahead.
You hear for years that there's no water issue in the city of Prescott. There's no water issue. We don't have to worry about it. And then I just heard one of the commentators say, well, there's the water. We have to give it to the tribe free. Now, I'm thinking, do we have a water issue or a water issue? Back in 2002, we had the Great Platte Rush, and we were this concern about rechargeable water here. And back in 2002, we started buying easements for the city, putting it all down. It's going to cost us $120, $150 million to get this the water line up to Paulden. And now that's all been put on hold. Like, we don't need it. We don't need it. Now, the price of that is probably a double, maybe even more,
Well, probably tripled.
triple. And so when do we need? When is there water issue?
It's good.
Prescott and PV are pumping like crazy.
Well, I'm the guy that talked about the water on the reservation, and there's nothing new about that. They've always had a right to. They have a first right for water in our community because.
That was part of our purchase of Watson and Willow Lake.
Okay,
in
so
that-
And there's
so
a
that's
federal
always
law
there.
involved here.
And there's and I've said this before in this show. There's no scenario that our AMA can come into safe yield without importing water from the Big Chino, which we now have the right to do. We just have to have somebody with the backbone to go out there with a backhoe and start digging a trench and put a pipe in it and transport the water into our community.
It'll run downhill from the water ranch
There's a-
all the way to Highway 89.
I think Malcolm
Right.
said there's a 400. Somebody told me there's a 400-foot elevation difference between where the water ranch is and where we want it to go.
Yeah.
Right.
and it's downhill all the way.
Well, it's
Well,
just
why haven't we ever put the Dugan well into production?
Absolutely.
well, there's a bunch of reasons. for that.
Inexhaustible.
Yeah.
And so there you go, Mike. I mean, there are rights to water, but it's just a matter of the city having the will to actually get the water that we need.
And not ignoring the problem. One of the council members
Exactly.
a month or 6 weeks ago said, why aren't we paying attention to the big things instead of the little things like worrying about gas-fired leaf blowers?
Well,
Exactly.
the next question I have is more of a personal question
Oh, no,
because
Mike.
I no longer live in the city. I live in the county. In fact,
Okay.
I live in Chino.
Okay.
And ADWR has conducted their tests on my well for the last 11 years. And it's
So
good.
you're
I've
one of the
gone down
test
about
wells.
one foot a year.
Right.
Now, as of this year, for the first time ever, it's down to 3 feet.
Okay.
Could be 5 feet next year. Could be 7 feet next year.
That's drought because you're in the upper aquifer. You're not in the deeper aquifer, and your water supply virtually depends on rain.
Yes, and so when they say there's no water issue, that's for the people of the city of Prescott. But for the county, they're basically saying, well, we're not going to import our water because we don't want to bring it in from Paulden right now. But while everybody's wells suck up and dry because there's no sustainable recharge, that becomes our problem in the rural areas.
Right. It does.
And I'm saying, well, what if the county said we had enough of this and started referendums to slow growth?
Well, it's just,
I don't know if that's legally possible or not, but I'm saying we all have to look out for each other. And yes, I am a responsible pro-growth person, but it's responsible. We can't shut down growth. Nobody's going to stop having babies. Nobody's going to stop moving here. But when you look at what the airport had and how fast that's developed, this is California growth. This is not everybody's hometown. We're going to do it in a sustainable manner. We want to preserve our rural atmosphere. That's not happening. That's part of our general plan, but we're kicking the bucket and can down the road.
Well, originally we projected our total build-out to be at about 55,000 people, and we were going to achieve that by the year 2020. it didn't happen. I mean, we're what 48,000
Yeah,
now.
and I
5
and
years
I
later.
think there were a couple of changes of numbers. That looks like the build out's about 65
Right.
because of Deep Well Ranch
If
coming
we
online.
annex
But
everything we can possibly annex to the north to Chino Valley, to the east to
Prescott
Valley, south and west, we're limited by the Forest Service.
National Forest, all that open space out there.
Right. Then, okay, and I think we have annexed just about everything we can east there for the most part.
yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty limited there.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
So there you go, Mike. I mean, it's not much of an answer, but I mean, that's about the best we've got right now.
But it is an issue for county residents and for people in the other two communities here.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, fellas.
Hey, thank you for calling, Mike.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good day.
Good
You
call.
too. You too. Take care. And Malcolm, stop playing with the stuff you find in the drawer in here.
No. This is in my pocket. It's 1/8 inch welding rod that I pulled up from an old house my brother bought this afternoon.
Okay. You're not going to put another hole in your hand, are you?
No.
Of
Okay.
course. Wait,
All right.
when he starts welding, there'll be marks tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be.
Oh, I got gloves now.
Oh, good man.
Amazing. How long did that take you?
No.
Forever.
Well,
okay.
I have gloves everywhere. I just get in a hurry and I don't have time to put them on.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. All right. Anyway, folks, what can I say?
What are the three big issues that the city should be addressing instead of the tertiary stuff that it's paying attention
I
to?
have,
All right,
I have a rank choice.
Well, then there's our predictions for the day because we got 2 minutes left. Malcolm, go.
Public safety,
Of course.
public infrastructure,
Okay.
and transportation.
Any disagreements?
Well, what do you mean by
I mean,
transportation?
alternate routes, improvements, new roads.
Widening
Does water,
roads.
does water fit in there? It's going to become a problem.
Now, wait a minute. Wouldn't you put any road conditions or improvements under infrastructure?
Possible.
Yeah.
Infrastructure, you're talking water, sewer.
Okay.
And we could throw roads in there.
Okay.
What you're saying is basic services, the
Basic
departments
services.
that the city is in the business to operate.
Above,
A police department,
Anything
a fire
else.
department, a streets department, solid waste, and the water treatment plant. Those are the things that need to be kept solvent.
those are
not-
quality of life
Not
issues.
blowing how much money down the black hole of that new city hall.
None of those things exist without water.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's
we just
true,
have
Bob.
to address the issue.
Well-
and as
and we just keep ignoring it.
and as for that new city hall, I'm going to tell you something. And I got 30 seconds, and it's my show.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
wanna make a
The very
prediction.
first job when I was 16 was covering the greater Christopher City Council. Christopher, Illinois, and its suburbs was 1,000 people. The mayor put the meetings at the First Community Church because it was next to his farm, so he could ride his three-wheeler over. Long story short, in that little bitty broken down building, if you took their minutes and put them next to the city council
They'd
minutes,
be the same.
They'd be the same.
Yep.
That's enough for today, folks. 1 month from today, another edition. Good luck until then. Bye-bye.